Hey guys, I want to showcase you my Flurry build in this video. I played this until the end game now. It took me like 4 hours to hit level 70 and then about 14 hours for Torment tier 12. So yeah, it went quite well, quite fast. As you can see here, we are speed farming a pit tier 100, which is the entry level for Torment tier 12. And yeah, this build is just giga fast, just as I expected. It's also very easy to gear. You basically need only one unique item and some offensive aspects that you find on the way. You need no mythic items at all. Even though we are in a season of mythic uniques whatsoever, it's not required at all. You can just play this build entirely without mythic uniques, and this makes it entirely casual friendly and also very controller friendly, because as you can see here, we are just jumping from pack to pack, nearly one-shotting everything, and this gameplay also shines extremely well if you play it on the controller, while on the mouse and keyboard it's possible, but a little bit more stressful. So yeah, sometimes it's even hard to keep up with all of that speed. And regarding weaknesses, this build has some of them. So number one weakness is the boss damage or DPS. So it's not the best build for bossing. This is mainly because we are dependent on crowd controlling enemies. So only if the enemy is frozen, we will deal massive damage burst, as you will see right now. So boom, once stagger is up, the damage also goes up. And here we have this 19 seconds speed farm for pit 100. But yeah, this is like the number one issue, boss DPS. I can also make this a little bit bigger now. So yeah, boss DPS sucks, but T8 Lilith is also easy. Don't worry if you want to achieve your, if you want to progress in your season journey, you can do this. I also beat Lilith with this build. I did not do Mephisto so far. I think Mephisto will be a tough foe at this point. I will require more gear for that, but Lilith at least is no problem. Also, AoE damage is a little bit small, so we don't have this huge flurry size as we used to have in the previous seasons. They have removed, for example, all of the utility tempers for flurry size, so that also sucks a little bit. And like I mentioned, we are dependent on crowd controlling like freezing. For the build requirements, as mentioned, you only need one unique. This is the Death Mask of Nimitrak. Here I was actually lucky. I found this mythic variant of this unique quite early on. This also gives you a nice damage boost, but it's not required whatsoever. This is already some premium endgame gear that you want to have at some point. And so for that reason, no mythics required. No Ring of Starless Skies or Tyrael Smite or whatsoever. Regarding gearing goals, so I already made a Mobilitics guide before the season launched, so here you can check this out. It's called Flurry Teleporter. So here you will find everything that you need for the starter and endgame variant. So all of the aspects and items that you need, and also all of the rest is here in my planner. But for the most important gearing goals here, so mainly you want the three following stats on your offensive gear. You want crit damage, wound damage, and cold damage. Not as an additive damage bonus as for tempering, for example, but I'm speaking about this multiplicative damage bonuses. So here, for example, you can see all of my weapons have a greater affix on critical strike damage multiplier. And this is basically what you need for this build. And also very important, you want crit chance as much as possible. So here, for that reason, we want to temper it on our weapons. So you can see we have critical strike chance as a temper. And also on my amulet, on my rings, and on my gloves, I try to get as much critical strike chance as possible. So here you can see right now I'm sitting at 55% critical hit chance. But I can increase this number once I'm in combat, because we also have a rune that is triggering. It's a little bit difficult to showcase you here, but in combat we should have around 74% critical strike chance. But right now it's difficult to show this. But yeah, so because we're playing with the Gar rune, we also get additional 24% critical hit chance. Also with dashing into enemies we get some critical hit chance, so you just want to have as much as possible. It's much harder now without Hair of Perdition and without Ring of Starless Skies. They have removed the critical hit chance affixes on those mythics, so it's even harder to get crit chance in the season as it used to be before. Regarding energy management, this is a very non-brainer on this build. So energy management is completely easy due to completely free energy costs. So for that reason you need Death Mask of Nimitrak, and once you have it, you can pay attention to my energy bar here. My energy is completely low or empty the entire time, but we still can cast Flurry. And this is because of this unique helmet here. So once we don't have energy to spend for Flurry, we can instead spend 3% life, and then we will deal more damage with Flurry and also have more attack speed. And because we are losing life while using this helmet, I can also show you here. So you can see my life goes down when I use my helmet for casting Flurry. So for that reason you also want to have one healing aspect on your boots, and here I went for Siphoning Strikes. You can also take another one, but Siphoning Strikes just worked for me. And here you can see once we fight against a pack, we will just heal back up, because here we have lucky chance to heal with Cutthroat skills. But yeah, energy completely free, so also very casual friendly, and you don't need to worry about energy at all. Regarding bugs, this build has one bug that I have found out so far. So unfortunately we cannot use Shadow Step, because Shadow Step will remove Shadow Clone, and you want to play with your Shadow Clone. It is a big damage boost. So for that reason, instead of instead of Shadow Step, we use Dash for mobility. So the idea is every time we fight a pack, this will reset our cooldown for Dash, and as you can see here, this is what makes us go crazy with the speed on this build, and we can just endlessly spam our Dash. So yeah, we just use Dash instead of Shadow Step. Shadow Step would be a bit cooler since we can also jump through walls with Shadow Step. So this would be the better mobility skill to use for this build, but like I mentioned, we have this bug with Shadow Clone. So right now I can recommend you going for Dash. And last but not least, tips and tricks. So like I mentioned, the boss DPS is not very good. So the boss damage is very low until the point where we can stagger the boss. I can demonstrate you here. The boss DPS, or the boss life, is barely moving. But once we stagger, we deal more damage. And just keep in mind, this is Torment tier 12, so the training dummy is quite tanky. So yeah, what you can do for improving your boss DPS is you can swap your unique charm. So right now I'm playing with Azarath. This will make enemies that are frozen explode, and they will deal the entire damage that I dealt to them before they were dying. So pretty cool for speed farming and for the pack clearing. But you can also swap this Azarath unique charm for something like, I'm not sure how it's called, let me check it out here for a second. Actually, I don't think I have this dagger, but there is a dagger. I will also write this down in the Mobilitics guide. So there's a dagger which says you deal 120%, I think, more damage against isolated enemies. And bosses are always isolated, so this is what you can do. You can just swap this unique charm for the isolated damage charm, and then you will just deal double damage against bosses. So this will be a lot faster than without this swap technique. So yeah, that's something you can do. And by the way, regarding toughness, this build is quite tough, so there are better builds for sure, but as you can see here, we can climb up to, I think, 3.5 million toughness for me right now. This will be better, so I think with optimal gear and Paragon points and so on, we can reach close to 5 million. So the toughness is actually what keeps you behind not the damage, but more the toughness if you want to go for higher torment tiers. So yeah, right now 3.5 million toughness, and it's just fine for torment tier 10 at least, and also torment tier 12 if you are careful. Okay guys, that's it for this guide. I think I have covered everything that I wanted to do. Specialization, we have preparation, but you can also find all of the stuff out in my guide. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Happy blasting, and I see you next one. Bye bye.